Okay. I think I got it going now. Hello, everyone. Another night of midnight art drawing. Hope everything looks okay. I saw a lot of people liked it, so I decided I'd start doing it some more. Again, I forgotten to do an audio test, but I think it'll be okay. I just streamed yesterday and haven't reset my computer thing. It should be fine. It'll be fine, right? I think it's everything's showing good on OBS. It should be fine. So we are working on the drawing hand again. Now, obviously, it looks like a smudged up piece of wreckage because I might just, I got a lot of strange overlays trying to see if I could make it dirty or might not instead, because cleaner sometimes works better for the art style and stuff, and I go with it. We're doing our drawing hand again. For those who don't know that are seeing this, the drawing hand is a separate model that will follow my pen pointer and should animate when it moves around or when I put down the pen. I'm making something I can work with and animate so that we have a, less boring apparatus to look at when I'm drawing or sketching or something. And if it's too much and people don't like watching it do the art and stuff like my hand would be, we don't have to use it for that, and I can use it for animation projects and stuff, or nice little fun stinger videos, etc. So anyways, just try to see everything here. I got my phone and camera basically in the way, unfortunately. I just moved out of the way a bit, and we'll get to it. We're just trying to look at what we need to fix. A lot of the smudging, a lot of these over bright shadows and highlights can be done away with. We're not trying to do a bright hand or anything. We're trying to do a dull, matted, leathery look, right? So that's what we're going for with this. But today we've got this one. Also, for anyone who checked out the last stream, I've got chat installed on my streams now, as well as an alert. If you join me, you'll get to see a little cult joining animation. It's not a great one. It's something I made after a long time ago, actually. I've got a lot better at animations and drawing ever since, so we could always make a new one if people want or something and stuff for that. But anyways, just decided, why not start doing more art streams? Because, we can, I get more work done that way, There's a lot of stuff I can't get done. I know I haven't started yet, everything else. We're going to start in a second. I'm also, keeping tabs on all the, things slowing down my, stuff a bit so we can, Alright, so, but we'll go ahead and start here. We got some stuff ahead of us. I'm only doing this for an hour or two, but that's honestly plenty long to think about it. So the pen, the pen's just a placeholder. It looks awful that way because the pen's just, the pen looks nice on its own, right there. Right? It's a nice design, I think. I think I pulled off the pen quite well, honestly. It'll work just fine, I think. We're gonna keep it like this, and then eventually when I import it into Live 2D, it will look great. That's the old design. That's just a little thing I've got here. Is just a group image so that I can move this around if I need to test something out with how it would look and stuff, or just honestly see the difference between A and B. We've improved the thumb a bit. The thumb doesn't look great like it is, right? Because there's a pin inside of it. Then it looks great. Okay, works good, right? I still got to figure out things about it. I'm going to cut the pin in half eventually. And we're going to combine them back together as one piece. But one goes above and one goes below. And then I can kind of adjust so that one of the fingers might be above the pen and one's below. Kind of like a rolling effect. Yeah, there's a lot of things to it with animations. The whole thing with rigging and Vtuber models and stuff is all about the understanding how things work. Also looking at things and trying to figure out what looks more natural and what doesn't, what's popping out the wrong way and looking right and wrong, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with pre-planning, and that's what if you see me hesitate a lot, it's the pre-planning mentality. Also, you got to figure out what you're working on. So we redid that part. which we had this kind of rounded effect earlier. Did not look right. This looks a lot more correct, but still kind of looks off. Probably look more better if I swiveled it past the knuckle breaks and stuff. In the end, it's not a very big... You're not going to notice a lot, even though it might be a... It's not going to be a big thing on the screen. We're going to make it a lot smaller, so it looks better at a distance, and that's an important thing with a lot of models. We try to make it look as good as we can up close, even if we'll never be up close. Which part was that? Last part. One thing I like to do is duplicate and turn off the old piece so that I can edit. And if I screw up, unlike a AAA game, it's not behind. Well, that's a big set here for this. I also have to remember not get my keypad because I have all my model triggers on my num keypad, and that will make me go places in the middle of the stream, moving around. Don't need to do that. So I'll just move, like, knock it up a little bit, right? A little bit. Do a place to return to, place to go. Go for the... Oh, wait, actually, I need to probably get a little further out. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. We'll just get rid of all this right here, right? Right? We'll just get rid of... We'll knock it all down. We'll knock it all down. If you see any errors with the stream, let me know, because I'd like to fix everything. You hear me? I'm trying to find a good, like, position, so it's so hard. Go past it this time. See how that looks. It's a little more natural, but also the positioning's off. I mean, I know the fingers are off, if anyone's ever wondering like that. I'm not good at hands. I'm not good at designs. I'm not good at this stuff. But I try. And that's what I'm trying to cover up the pros. That's what it's all about in true not good art stuff. I'm not good at art. I'm not good at perspective. But at least I'll try. Let's see here. I've got a lot of things going on at once, so it's computer's fighting over which windows come up top sometimes. I don't like it, we can always go back to the classic stuff. Maybe I should go with more shallow with the overall nature of that. honestly, I'm a lot better at doing the animating than this part for anyone that's tuned in and has no knowledge of me. I'm better at rigging. It's not that I hate art. I'm just no good at it. What I do is fake it. But the good news, if you ever want techniques for art that can make you better at it without being better, I know them. And the truth is, animating is actually a kind of art when you're doing live 2D work and rigging. A lot of people don't know this. The difference is, like, art would be like a painter. You create these new things. But when it comes to live 2D animating, you're molding the animations. You're not just using stuff that someone else made. You are creating with something already there. Making it as something else and bringing it out. Once we get this feeling good, I mean, it's just the curves are too much. We want to go with light curve. I think that just hides a lot more issues with it. Let's try to improve this a bit more with another duplicate. We'll just push it as all. Yeah, that works good. Well, lots of issues in it, though. It looks like pixel art at this moment because they're zooming in so far to like get every little point. A proper artist will have better things with anti-aliasing pins, one draw, one length. It works better for them and stuff, and they break it up. But for me, I use a lot of fill-ins and blurs to make things work and pop out. So, a little different for me. I think if we tighten this up a little better, it'll look even better. I think with that. Yeah, it looks better tightened up. My protection's a bit better, I think. The rounded, the little shine up here, I think, is also causing me a bit of issue. It's really hard to get the curves right, because like the zoom ins and stuff. We're getting parts so small as part of the model. Hello, brother dummy. How are you tonight? How things going? That's the dirt. That's what that is. Good to hear. Thanks for stopping by. Makes me feel less lonely. The first speaker tonight. At least someone else was watching, though, but you're the first one to speak. Someone's watching on Twitch. At least one person. Lurkers, I know you're there. Don't worry. You don't have to talk. I'll do all the talking, after all. What I'm here for. Yapping while drawing. And mostly just yapping a lot, because I'm trying to, like, think on what I want to do. But I'm not that good at it. So I just keep yapping until hopefully if I yap enough, I'll think about something that will actually make me good at art. But that might not happen. But it's fine. Hopefully something will happen. You know, I'll figure out something to do. I need to figure out. I think I just need to redo the shading here. You know, I'm going to use my favorite technique, actually. You know what? Well, me, good at art. You've got to understand, Radami. Bradadami, what about I can say? Doesn't matter if you're 60 plus anyways. You think that's different? You think I don't have friends who are really, really old? It's no weird. It's odd things here. But, no, I'm not really that good at art. It looks that way. This is weeks to get here at this point. This should not have taken that much. You don't know how good it sounds for you to say I draw hands really good. Let me see if I can find the art that I like to show people for I can draw. This is what happens when I spend weeks refining tiny little bits. By the way, the hand is rotoscoped. I cheated, okay? I can draw some hands sometimes, but usually it's not good. I can't draw them fluidly like a lot of artists can and stuff. I am not artist. There we go. Let's open this up. This is my art skill. Somewhere a little bit more than South Park. Oh, that was what I drew on a video one time, just show off and stuff. That's like drawn immediately. Refined is what you get when you look at my model's face and stuff. This is all just tons of work and stuff. The thing is about art, and modern art, at least with digital art, is we're actually not skilled at art. Let me just check out something real quick. We'll see. Oh my gosh, I didn't put it up. Hold a second. Hold a second. I'm an idiot, guys. Give me 1 second here. I look like I'm talking to myself. I forgot to add the chat box. Yes. The chat box. That's gonna be really hard to see with the white background. I might need to make that like gray or something, or otherwise. That there one too. Oh, nice. You know, what's really sad? It would be a really cool little animation playing up there if I had gotten my alerts tab up before you subbed. It'd play a little music and everything. A little character gets robed. Oh, you know, but I forgot to put up the tabs. Sorry for jumping. Reddit on me, you don't get to see. But let's see. Being a kid's fine. Be careful on the internet. A lot of creeps out there. Trust it from a creepy guy that's not a creep. A lot of creeps out there. But it's great to find knowledge and art and stuff like there. Anatomy is really hard. I'm actually really good at objects versus art and stuff. And tablets, oh my gosh. Having a tablet's the only reason I even got my Vtuber model made. These wrinkles cannot be done. They cannot be done with mouse. They kind of can, but you can't really. I mean, I use the thing for the outlines when I really want to do well. Most of this model, strange enough, I think it's mostly hand-drawn. I don't think no, I use that. I use this for digital parts and stuff. I like to use the Bezier curve tool to get perfect curves and stuff. Hello, Fury Friends Nation. Welcome to a madman drawing his hand at night. Being good expressions is really good, Baranami. What are you planning to do with art one day? You said you just got your tablet and you're learning art. Rendering, of all things. Oh, another tablet user. See, this is why I started doing the art streams. I can meet the artists, and they're not trying to sell me art. You know, being a VTuber is kind of like really weird and strange because it's like, I'm playing things and people are like, hi there, I'm an artist. Like, oh, that's cool. What kind of art do you do? Oh, this and that. You want to buy some banners? And it's like walking into a bread shop to sell the baker some bread, you know? And just like, I do my arts. I mean, I'm not great at it. I don't like doing art a lot, honestly. It's not that I don't like the art. It's I hate how long it takes. I'll spend weeks on something that takes me 2 minutes. I'm an animator, well, hopefully trade soon. It's not even a thing that I try to do. I do not have an art degree. I mean, I have a minor, but, you know, that's not really a thing, if you think about it. Oh, bro, I mean, you're going to do some crazy stuff. So, animation's fun, but it's different if you're doing character design, though. You can learn to work with, like, Vtuber models just to get started and stuff, too. I love the working with Vtuber models. If you guys want to see a really crazy Vtuber model, you can look at my buddy's model who I made, and that's Silent Mime Guy. I'll stream with him on Fridays and stuff, and link to his channel all the time and stuff, and I made him a Psycho Puppet. Being able to adapt to others' art styles, Bradonami, is amazing. And that is absolutely critical for any animation studio. That's really cool. I can't adapt that well. I can kind of adapt that well. See, with V2 model making and stuff, ooh, what you got, Fury? Let's see, Oh, Fury, you're going through the problem I go through a lot and stuff. The idea that you make all this stuff and no one sees it. Oh my god, I hate that. Dude, I made VTube videos on like becoming a VTuber and stuff to make it super easy for people. I don't even get 100 views on most of them. Like I created a video that might be the like easiest entry video on how VTube models work, called How VTube Models Actually Work. I spent over 100 hours on it. It's barely gotten a view per hour, not even yet. And then of course I made with Pixel into a VTube model. And I probably have the world record for smallest VTube model. Well, I mean, that's what happens, Brodami. You gotta be careful too with like talking to people, and even on streams and stuff. I mean, it's usually okay and stuff. I'm not gonna ask your age, so don't worry. I do get a lot of young viewers watching my stuff on my channel sometimes, so you know, it just happens that way. So I try to tie back the cursing, it fails, but you know, you can call me uncle. I am a real life uncle. Everyone calls me uncle these days. Oh, come on now. Fury, an art picture, no one got a like on it because it took you much. Welcome to the world. That's how it is. I try to show things off. The truth is, in this world, I'll tell you guys a secret with this stuff. I need to get back to drawing too here. I'm gonna show you guys a trick in a second. The trick though in popularity is you're only popular if you're popular. That's the honest to goodness truth. Everyone's popular just because they're popular. It's time to add shading to this, the way I like to do it. I make a picture. I get it. And I cover it in darkness. And I duplicate that again. And I shrink it ever so slightly. And then I use it as a stamp and cut out the center of the other one. And I get rid of this. I don't need this one too. Get rid of that, so we don't need that anymore. And now we have darkness. A dark border on everything. Nice, quick, and simple, and dirty. Just the way we like it. Alright. And now we click on this. And we blur it. Using that. And I have shading. I do not have a dog. They don't live long enough. And I don't have 8 cats anymore. I have 2. One's big enough to be a dog. I swear he's big enough to be a dog. I hate shading the odd designs like I have right here. Gotta see if it looks good or not with the shadows. Usually I just do like a little border shadow. It kind of makes everything feel like it has depth and you're moving away from the light at the center. Probably too much of it here. Let's go back to the stamping. Have I had 8 cats before, though? Yes, growing up. You get 3 cats at a time. They come in litters, you know. You get a lot of cats. Personally, though, I'm not a cat guy. I'm an animal person instead. To me, it's a lot better to, I like all the animals more. They're much smarter than people. Always smarter than people. I just do blur instead of blended all fury. I don't know anything with art. I'm terrible. I should probably use the better tool for this. Bezier. Curve. No, I wanted to get rid of it. Now we stamp. There we go. I think it's better. Not familiar with Jake Neutron. I kind of live under a rock most of the time. I'll tell you a secret I know about art. Blood on me. Ivy Leagues think themselves to be great. I had an art teacher a long time ago, college art teacher, mind you. Professor. She didn't last long. Because she was from an Ivy League school. I'm from an Ivy League school. That's all she did, teach art history. I've never failed an art history class before her. And it's like, it's ridiculous. You know how ridiculous it is to fail an art history class because your interpretation of art is different from hers? That is ridiculous. Art is interpreted by the viewer, but not for the Ivy Leaguers. Oh no. Oh no. I'm still sore about that. I'm sure a lot of Ivy League stuff is taught well, but at the same time, well, also, this was a really old teacher, so maybe they're a lot better now, actually, now I think about it. She's a very old teacher. Old school Ivy League. You know. I went to an Ivy League school. Oh, yes, kind of thing. Taking mid-high school, you're saying you're younger than that, and you're going ahead. That's pretty cool, honestly. I will say these days, when it comes to, like, education, aim for a job, and aim for a range of jobs, and try to get those jobs, and don't focus on the education. Oh, I got failed by that Ivy League teacher. For interpretation! Interpretation! What is the artist thinking here? I don't know. He's dead. He's been dead for hundreds of years. But, oh, yes, the stupid Ivy League stuff. Ugh. Still sore. But that's what happened, you know. Lower this dirt a little bit more. So in one sense, it's difficult with the way I do art, is I do it with these kind of shadows and stuff. You also see I have a lot darker shadows. This is so I can lighten them. I like to have my shadows extra dark because I then can control the opacity in Live 2D when I'm animating this. This whole hand will be animated. Very if you want to kind of just relate low views, let me tell you right now. Let me give you an understanding of this. I used to do video game tutorial videos on this channel. Back when I was doing Final Fantasy 14 stuff. That got really boring though. Their crafting got terrible and I didn't care anymore. Couldn't have anything. But I did the crafting and gathering videos. I remember days of getting 1,000 views a day on my videos. 1,000 views. Some of my videos have reached almost, if not quite yet, 50,000 views. I'm now working hard just to get 10. That's why I stream instead sometimes. I used to make, I've spent so much work on my videos to help people with content creation and stuff, tutorials and that, but you don't get seen. The algorithm, everything's relying on AI, and AI doesn't care about you. everything is focused on popularity. You're only popular if you're popular, because they don't care about risking with new people. So that's what goes on these days. So I don't even get seen. I should start making some shorts talking about the fact that I made the world's smallest V2 model. No one can take that from me. It's 1 pixel. No one did that before, I don't think. I don't know for sure, but you know, probably didn't. I started learning into the kind of mentality of just looking for viewers and being absolutely unhumble about it became a theme for me. So it's kind of funny to do. But it's also true. You can get popular, but only if your fancy stuff is seen by somebody popular enough to make you popular too. So that's the problem. It'll happen soon. I had a friend, his work keeps holding him back. I don't think I've seen any of that, brother. I mean, like I just said, I've been kind of under a rock the past 2 years. Let's put it this way. I tried to have a career. Didn't work. I'll talk about it another day, though. Well, that's a can of worms. But yes. Do I have these as separate? That's another thing. So when I'm drawing all this, I have to think about what I'll animate. Because I'm doing this in live 2D later. So I keep them in separate layers and parts and move them around. Makes it incredibly cluttered. But if I do things right, I can have things work really interestingly. Oh yeah, that's what I have. I forgot. I have a shadow underneath everything. I'm most proud of scratches of all things. It's bad when your best work is defacing your own work. Still think my sleeve turned out way better than it should have. Yep, wrong part. Get the shadow a little bit light. See how it looks. You mean where you think your artwork looks more amazing than it actually is, or just for yourself, you just go crazy for it? Oh, and by the way, guys, just so you know, since you guys are talking on YouTube, you'll notice there's a slight delay before the chat. That's because this video is in 4K. Doesn't give me low latency for it, unfortunately. Things like Twitch, really quick, but on YouTube, it's slow. So the Twitch people actually get faster interaction. For the YouTubers, it's still getting interaction. It just takes a few seconds. Basically, I'm in the past, you're seeing here. And I'm actually in the future right now. Sending messages to the past. This is how it is. The interesting thing I have with when it comes to making art, it's interesting with, like, I don't like how it looks, but at the same time, I do animations. I modify it. I make it look a lot better. My model itself looks a lot better in animation than it does in just art form. And the interesting thing about all of this is it's really weird. Oh, you make pictures of that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. I draw myself and a psychotic puppet and objects. So different kind of simping, I think. But what's interesting is I do animation. This just rings up a thought. So like when you make things animated, it comes out really different than you drew. So when I see my model moving, it honestly, with rigging a live 2D model, you don't do animations like you think. I'm not creating the entire animation. I create a few points, and that creates the animation. I'll just probably show you guys real quick. More people I like to show people how live 2D kind of works and stuff. That's a little thing I like to do all the time. So in live 2D, I'll create okay, I'm bad at art, so just forget this. You have the head, right? You have eyes and mouth, and obviously the eyes would be down here because, you know. But yeah, you know, you have the nose or whatever. And you are moving everything to the side. You're warping it, you're molding it, you're squeezing it in and stuff. And you might make it look to the side or something, and like that, right? And so when you do animations with Live 2D, all you're doing is you have your center shape, you mold it look up, you mold it look down, to the right, to the left. The program helps you figure out these in between, and you just kind of edit them. And in the end, what you have is, let's see, you're making 8 shapes out of your original shape. But really, these are identical, these are identical, and these are identical. So that's 3 less. So you're making, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Making 3 shapes and 2 half shapes because the program already helps you. And sometimes the program already gets it perfectly and stuff. What would I use? Oh yeah, I use a new one. I don't have to worry about alting that out. So with making live 2D models, you're not actually making animations. You're making ends of animations. You're just repositioning everything to how it would look at the end of the animation. And so live 2D is really fun. If you guys ever want to look into making V2 models, it's fun. I do video tutorials on that, and I'll do more in the future as people start asking. But you're not doing the animation. You're not doing this part. You are only reshaping everything for the end. So when it comes to live 2D, you're not really making the animation, you're making the final part of the animation. They're for small movements too. And so when you have a movement going to the twisting to the side, but then you're also doing this, is like, you know, this part's animation I did. I didn't do this part. This is not my animation. I animated the head to the side. I did the mouth open and closed. You are doing the end part of all these little tiny like movements, and they stack together amazingly. And that's how live 2D works. You do like little bits, and all you're doing is repositioning everything else. You're making it look like it should, and you don't even do that much. Like I do all the way over to here, but you can just do a little bit with animation. People don't understand that. Making V2 models is so easy, but people are so intimidated by it. And that's what we're doing with this. I've delegated this to work in multiple parts. And the secret to making lively, good-looking V2 models, also this design and style, you got to have an approach, something you're planning to do. And there are 2 approaches, limited and complicated. It's kind of like making a comet. But it's like, I'll take each eye and move it individually and shape it, molding it like it was a 3D model, but in 2D, like a flat 3D model, right? You mold it around and you position it in place. You can even mask it so it can only appear certain things so it can look like it's running off the model and stuff. So it's a really interesting concept with how you do things. There's so many things to it, but it's really simple in the end because you only have to like move the mouth a little bit and the eyes a little bit just to kind of track. Making a V2 model is really easy to do. And I don't even, it's to the point that it's strange to actually have a PNG tuber because making a live 2D model can be so easy. You can make a PNG tuber that's animated. You don't have to animate much. I've seen some people do some simple animations. It's really great. And you can enhance your complexities and stuff. Like you see my mouth has a lot more complexity than a lot of other VTubers. This is because I use something called VBridger. And so I have a bunch of mouth shapes. And VBridger allows, and I use an iPhone. iPhone is the ultimate VTube model camera. If you have an iPhone 11 Plus, it does it perfectly. Better than anything else. And so you get all these shapes and movements you can add into it to complicate. It's all about small movements. There's no huge animations in VTube model making. The only time you do huge animations, you have a lot of small movements you program to kind of do it, called parameters. And you actually animate it. You go to animation program. You can use a VTube model as the animation. In my videos, if you look on my YouTube channel, videos where I'm talking about things and showing things in the background is a VTube model, technically. I mean, it's a live 2D model. It could be a VTube model. I just haven't made a VTube model. It's actually a video sequence of a VTube model animation. The background is made as a live 2D model. It's the same as VTube model. I could basically use that. I could technically program it to work as the model behind me, as an asset working like a model, and just have triggers for it that cause certain things to happen and certain effects on top of all the things going on. I can do all sorts of cool things with it if I wanted to. I just don't. I'm lazy. It's like my model making style is unique because it's a little grittier but clean drawn at the same time in some ways, I've noticed. I don't even try to do it. Everything with my model is me trying 300 times and then going, whoops, I accidentally made it good. Enough. It's not great. And I animated it terribly too. The amount of work I have to put in to make this thing look great. Horrible. Horrible amounts of work. It's terrible. What I have to do is, no, it's bad. And the reason is because I didn't know what I was doing. I had to learn how to make a VTube model from scratch. That made things difficult. I really like those lines right there. That looks good, honestly. Of course, I really like how that looks in the distance. Looks bad up close. Like, oh, looks horrible. You go back away, you're like, oh, it actually looks proper and good and right. When it blurs up the outline, we'll blur the outlines later. I'm not good with blending and blurring, so I don't know a lot of the techniques a lot of artists do. I am not an artist. I'm an animator. There's a difference. I do my art in live 2D. You give me a piece of artwork, I can work it and stuff. I'll probably try to get along with one day I want to hope to get with a VTube model like artist who's looking for someone to do rigging and work together on stuff. That's my goal one day. First though, I got to start finding people to do all the rigging for free and stuff. I've got a portfolio. I can't show half of it. A guy I've got like all of my portfolio, my good work, which is not many parts honestly. But I rigged a freaking furry. And I did a damn good job at it with what I had. The artist baked in all their textures and stuff and shadows. So that became an issue for me. Let's see what time it is. I got an hour more I can work on this. I get a chatty bit, but that's what it kind of is here. This is a chill point is what we're all trying to go for. That's what Sunny D do to you. That's what the Sunny D do to you. Let me move this little side here. It's out of the way of the side. Oh, you put that. Now it's put there. Sunny D will break you. Breaks everyone eventually. Let's get back to the proper art now. Now I gotta think of, gotta check the time sometimes, so I got my tablet's my second monitor, and it's being used for this, so if anyone sees this, if it glitches any bit while I'm doing it, my apologies. I don't know if it does or doesn't, no. Now, a lot of this is just, what if I did that? What happened? Let me see here. Seems crazy, I know. Don't worry. It has a point. And then we blur this a bit. Or blurs a lot. Give some depth to that bit. You know, maybe I should have done a different shape. Well, hope it didn't. Now we blur again. Try this way. What am I trying to do here? Might be a question somehow. I am adding in trying to do a bit of depth to this. We'll try to see if I can do some shading kind of stuff to it. Because we have a upward bit here. Nice. Good to see somebody doing more arts and stuff. Wonder. We're talking about the hand. The finger would be here. And so we do. Trying to think of how to do a good highlight. Where the line would go for a hand. Be like perpendicular there with it. Yeah, be like that. I could do some more straight. I like to do a little irregular stuff with myself sometimes. Irregularity works great. I don't think I'll do it that well. I think I should pick out it. Toy capsules. Curious. I start to look more like a highlight now. I'm gonna take this, invert, and destroy all that's off of that part. There's a little bit of it to it. I can always just increase the size laser and just have it only appear on top of that. Of course, we have outline at that point. It'd be kind of weird. There's a lot to it. Model animating is all about pre-thinking things in advance. So I take forever to make art because I've got to think, okay, what parts are going to move? How will I move it? Will I keep it as one part and just mold it into shape, or will I have it on a lever kind of design and work that way? There's so much to it. First, I'm keeping this fingertip separate. From that part. Which won't matter too much because we have the under bits of the finger. So it won't be seen so much because it's supposed to be at an angle and stuff. Not too good at conveying angles on this kind of thing. That should be fine. It should be fine. We're just going to animate it. If things are animated, it doesn't matter how bad they look better. They just simply look better. It's a very interesting thing to think about. Well, you see, the interesting thing about I'm talking about with animation is live 2D. I don't know if you do what kind of animation you do, but live 2D animation is taking a picture and just molding it. In the end, you're just moving it around and stuff and creating little subsets for it. Whereas most animations people think about is like frame by frame, whereas live 2D, you just take one frame and you make life out of it. A single image. It's all you have when you make V2 models and stuff. Yeah, honestly, I have only the attention span to make them. I have not the attention span to make the art, which is why we're streaming right now. Because I am bored as crap doing it. I'm very slow. Instead of black, we go with a darker brown. Just... I think it could be a little darker than that, honestly. Maybe a little taller. I just gotta probably follow the finger a little bit. Should probably not be where the finger goes either. Always about Control Z until it looks right. I've just been figuring out, like, when I do streams, streams help my channel. They help me get seen. They help me get noted by people. They get my personality out there. And they help YouTube learn that I actually do frickin' art and animation. Just because I do very few videos, when I spend hundreds of hours on it and no one watches it, doesn't mean that my videos are terrible and I don't actually do art. Come on now, I've got some really cool things going on. But anyways, I digress. Problems with the tube. Doesn't understand me, okay? I think my cough, that's weird. throat's getting itchy all of a sudden. Personally, I like working with more OC stuff. No one can really copyright half the stuff I do because I don't really get anything else there. It's like even the music here. Last time I did this stream on Sunday, I actually used the YouTube music, which on the YouTube video, which is going to say forever, can't get copyrighted because it's YouTube used music. Unfortunately, I'm multi-streamed, and so the audio got cut out in Twitch, but that's fine. Now we're using Stream Beach, which is free for everywhere. Watch it get copyrighted a little bit by some random person. Won't work though. Actually not bad. It's not good either, though. But it certainly conveys what I'm looking to do. My only real skill is using Blur Tool, which is sad in a sense, but it works. The glove looks very shiny. If I was going with a shiny leather, this would look perfect, but we're gonna have to tone down all the shine and the darkness, because you know that's the problem with going with an anime like coloration of two tones and stuff, is your highlights and stuff make everything look very shiny. I think I'm getting close though to being done here, honestly. It's almost a wrap. So we must go to the concept here. This is the... So here's my problem. Oh, don't do that. There we go. Okay, so we have the hand here. This is the earlier version. I definitely appreciate that. Let's see. Let me pull that up real quick. I did some hand drawing tests earlier. This is all rotoscope, by the way. Well, it's not. It's a combination of a lot of designs. So the thumb actually looked off until I did my last stream for this on Sunday and fixed it up. Let me see where I figured out where I put that stuff. Oh, there it is. This is the drawing of a hand I really like. Sometimes sketches just look so much better than otherwise. It's a glove test. Nice and simple, but that's where that is a shape I have to do eventually. You know, I can actually use this for the point to it, but my problem is it takes so long for art and hands and stuff. The next bit is going to be doing something incredibly hard. I'm going to be doing multiple hand shapes and I'm trying to figure out how things work in animation style. Because when I know how it works in animation style, I know what assets to create. That's the problem with everything. So it's like, you got to know what's separate, what's on. If I was just drawing a hand, I would just draw and doodle a hand. Done, right? But, strange enough, but you got to understand this too. You say it's because I'm older. Come on now, listen here, let me tell you. Skill and talent aren't based on age. Age is just experience. but you can experience faster and learn faster, regardless whether you're younger or older. And also younger, technically your brain's more placid in certain things. I'm a mutant. I don't work the same way. The best way to explain how my art works is if you've ever played or heard of the game Dwarf Fortress. The dwarves sometimes go through little inspirations. They might just kill another dwarf and carve his entire body into a suit of armor. I don't know why. That's just one of their strange, bizarre natures. They get these possessions where they're suddenly inspired to create a legendary item. I had that kind of mentality. All of a sudden out of nowhere, I'm just like doing my own thing, and it's just like waking up going, I have to create this! And next thing I know, I'm 5 days in, and I create an entire animation asset. Might actually be able, let's see if I can pull it up. Where did I put that picture for it? I've got it here somewhere. I won't find out. I'll show you. Where is it? Is it in that folder or this folder? I have to find out where I put everything. I've got it here somewhere. I'm basically looking for an art piece of my background that I use when I do my videos. I was possessed, and I had to create it. There it is. This background. Well, that was the old showcase. You can see how terrible it looks on there. All these are separate things, right? This was the part of it. This is an old showcase. At least if I get the finish. I probably have a finished picture of it somewhere. No, that's the beginning. I guess I'd find the whole thing. Bam. So this is a different kind of thing. If you ever look at any of my videos, you will see this thing working. So these are assets I animated. The animation, I rigged them really is the best way to put it. I rigged it in Live 2D, then I animated it. You can see there's a single fan here. I could just multiply that 4 times, and I have 4 fans here in the animation. We have static. It is masked to only be on the screen here, so you don't see anything. We have reflections on air here. On those 4 monitors, we have it on even the fan. You can see it goes through. Animated that way too, and also on the table. When this on air moves to the side, also it's jaggedy and all sorts of bent in the animation, and worse. There are sparks coming out of these wires. The board papers flutter in the wind. And some creepy eyes come in the corner here. I got some other stuff there. This isn't the finished one, I don't think. Or maybe that's got that past it. Anyways, light comes down the side. I've got all these animation sequences for it and stuff. It looks pretty darn good. I came out, it took me 5 days to make this. And I've drawn this, right? I am not fast at drawing simple things, even hard things. Everything's hard for me. But I made this in like less than half a day. I think the animation actually turned out quite well. I know what art. I was looking at things to do to change my model and improve it. But it's a lot harder than I put off to. I don't even know what my model should look like in the end. I don't have a final design. I can't come up with the original concept. But anyways, back to what we're thinking about here. So, this problem comes to this right here. This area here. The sleeve. Now, it's got a problem beyond other things for another reason. So, how big do we have the model going? You know, we go on the screen and stuff. So, if all of a sudden I had, with a pen, going all the way to here, the hand goes all the way here, you would see it. So I have to make the sleeve more, right? The only way to make this not have to do it would make a bigger hand. And so you have this humongous hand on the screen drawing. So yeah, I'll probably have to extend the sleeve a little bit. It doesn't have to be as fluffy as the rest, but I mean, if I move the sleeve, I'll probably boost it upwards to up top here, and then I'll extend it out down there when I'm done with the hand, of course. I got to get the hand going first. Also start adding in various shapes and stuff. And I also got to do what I like to do with making a V2 model is I add patches. Simple squares, shapes, and designs that are, among all things, just simply just a black shape. Pitch black, plain and simple. Nice and easy, right? And the way that works will be that the black shape is used as a shadow. It's a little multi-tool. Now you can just make things masked on this, which just means on any shape, it only appears there, or it only appears where this shape isn't, right? And that will give me the ability to utilize more shadows and stuff that I don't even have to create manually. I just put them in there. It might be a semicircle or a square, and that will improve that. But this thing is really, honestly, very close to ready to work with. Probably start tidying up a few things here. And then we start making another save of this, where I will start merging the shapes together. I feel like blur works really good for stitching, because stitching is a little fluffy in the first place. Because the outline is a big thing that matters. Not too much. Let me just blur this a little bit. Need at least one level of blur just to get the outside to be a little bit more anti-aliased. Everything's hard work for me, though. The only thing I got fast at is making thumbnails. I'll show you my favorite thumbnails I just made recently. Let me see. I think I redid one of my thumbnails. I put silent in there. Again, I had myself in there. But, I don't remember if I did or not. Let me see if I have that there. Oh, this is a good one. I replaced Silence model over Agent 47's and Hitman. This was fun. This was fun to do. I just cut out certain parts, import him, and add in effects. It was fun at making thumbnails. I cut out the gun to put it in front of his nose. It's just a fun thing to do. I love thumbnails sometimes. I do a little bit too much. I'm not a big streamer, so, I mean, I do streaming every week, but, you know. Let me see if I can find the really good one we did. This one just turned out so darn funny to me. I replaced Payday with us and stuff. And I thought this turned out so well. I thought this thumbnail turned out so darn good. It's just really funny. I told Silent that if he ever does Payday solo, I'll replace myself with his head for a fourth person. The whole joke here, Silent basically has to do all the work. Well, I'm just getting in the way the whole time. I've always had a problem before. I always have to do the hood and stuff. Would get in the way with trying to just supplant your head on certain models. Like in Silence, you just take off the head, you put his head there. Done. He is super easy to do thumbnails for. I love doing it, honestly. I'll pop out thumbnails for him left and right all the time when he asks. It's really fun. For myself, I had to worry about the hood, but then I thought, wait a second. If I just go all the way down to the where the hood actually starts, just throw that on top, it works great. And that does. So that has been working a lot for me for thumbnails. But they're just so much fun to do. It's like, Silent's model's the most fun. I made his model, by the way. So all that crazy puppet stuff is that's an animated model. It looks insane in action. And you can check him out, Silent Mime Guy. A lot of cursing, but if you want to see a psychotic puppet playing games, I made a clip of him earlier of Hitman just taking somebody out, smothering them with a pillow and then screaming at them to shut up before they even started screaming. So much, so funny sometimes. What do you mean by need verification to put thumbnails? I mean, just the thumbnails are like done for like YouTube videos and stuff, and that's where you get to do it and such. So I just take whatever game we're playing and I just find a press kit for it or something, like all the big streamers do, and everyone does. I find the best high-res image I can, and if I can't, I gotta look forever for it, or just find some way to modify it, enhance it. Another guy can draw some stuff, and then I gotta, like, modify it and stuff. Sometimes I gotta cut out the letters. So I cut the letters of a different thumbnail someone else has, and do that. Thumbnails are fun. I'm more of an editor than I am a actual artist, so, you know, we watch. A whole phone number? To use thumbnails or to get thumbnails? Because I don't remember needing a phone number. Maybe the verification process has changed or whatnot. For all I know, I've already filled it in. I didn't even know. Huh. Maybe it's another Google thing. I think I have my phone number for recovery or something, so I wouldn't remember. You know, it's probably so that people, like, don't make bots that just put scams and horrible things on the front of the thumbnails. That's my guess, at least. I don't want to do that. No, that's wrong. Higher capsule. Cool. It'd be a fun thing to make assets with VTube models. Make a little toy capsule animation that pops out the asset. Just think of crazy things I do all the time. So which one of these do I have the anti-aliasing on? Bane of my existence, anti-aliasing. Oh no, I hit the button, did I? Give me a second. I hit the button on my model I was talking about. Shoved me in the wrong spot. I mean, look at this. I hit the buttons and it just throws me all around the place. Ah, got my eyes off. Yeah, see? All the problems I got. Never put your actions to your numpad that you use for picking your art shapes and stuff. It's bad. I noticed I'm like, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. No! Some of these rough corners look a little better, I think. Good idea. I just see when it's just like, what I used to do would just be, it's based on the whole screen. Now I have myself in a little corner, so it doesn't get to see me actually jump scare people and stuff. So I never used the joke I wanted to do, which just like literally just jump scares you a bit. Look at this. This is the fun thing about VG models. This is the underlying art. It's actually kind of not great, you know? But everything with V2 models is about stacking and compilation, and that's where everything just stands out. It's just so interesting that in the base, V2 models are so simple. Just a simple color and an outline. Not even outlines sometimes. Not even a simple color sometimes. Sometimes even less. No outlines or anything else. But because you can merge things at the same coloration to them, you can hide things, put things together, patch things in. I've been adding some color patches to my model's face. So I kind of didn't do the mouth right. And it's jury-rigged like no other. What is that from? That's from this. How dare I? Dye color. Incorrectly placed. Spec. Leave the void there for this artwork. I think more is needed. Ah, yes, now we have to work. Let's go back to the... Oh, I'll give it on this just in case I do something weird for it. Boop. Go to 4. That's my number I like to use for this. I've got a few artist friends. A lot of them don't really do much to help me with some stuff. So they're like, oh, we're going to do this. Oh, I'm bored. So many friends of mine that do art get bored really quickly, and then they like stop helping. It's like, what was the point at the first place if you're not going to keep helping me? Now these fingers look terrible. I don't care who you are. These fingers look terrible. So why do they look so terrible? Because they are the background and nothing more. You don't see most of this terribleness. These ET-like fingers? You don't. I put effort in them though, just to try to make it look better and work better. So what I should do probably is get some actually, yeah. Basically, if I tie a finger to it, like I make another copy of this and black, I can make a shadow that I put under it that will move with the finger if it moves with the hands and stuff, and only make it appear over the hand. This will create a much more realistic effect. Why am I spending so much work on this? I can ask myself that all the time. It's so weird. I don't know which way. Ah, Ichika, nice, hello. From Japan, so Nippon. This is where I wish I learned kanji. This is where I wish I learned Japanese and stuff. But hello. Technically, Japan is the origination of VTubing and stuff. You got VT in her name, that means something. Hello. Everything will be a little delayed right now because we're in 4K, so apologies for that. I'm sure the greeting is delayed for you and stuff, so just let you know. I decided to make the hand, the three fingers a little bit blurry because they're in the background. Maybe I should have just not done that. Let me see. Let's go with 2 instead of 3 for that. I feel like it's a little too blurry. I gotta blur the outside a little bit, but two's plenty blurry. 3 is excessive. Oh my god. Fury, you can reply to them. Wow. Impressive. I'm not bilingual. The closest I go with language is no hablo español. Which said, though, actually, I kind of do pick up a few things on Japanese just because I've been involved in watching so much subtitled stuff and words. Probably the only language I know the most of otherwise. But then it's also Latin. I learned a little Latin. But that's a dead language. But then every language is based on it. Well, every Western language. Imperial Society. I'll start battling off random bits all of a sudden. Use Google Translate. Intelligent! I'll tell you this, Fury. Listen to me well. This is the truest information dump you'll ever have in your life. Intelligence has shifted what it is. In the olden days, it was about privilege. Intelligence is what you knew. You know, you found a book, you knew it. But that's not the truth. Intelligence was also then of how you could utilize knowledge. How well you were, smart was picking up on new things, how fast you gain knowledge later. But in the modern days, knowledge and just barely picking things up, none of that matters. Intelligence is the ability to acquire the knowledge that you desire. In other words, if you're really good at search engine, you're smart. You would think, oh, well, I just don't figure things out. I let this figured out. If you can figure out the correct information because you can search for the correct information and sort through it, congratulations, you're a researcher. That's true, actually. There's abilities to delve in new information, but there's also ability to find the information you look that someone's already created. In fact, a lot of research actually metadata, which is basically finding research that's already out there, and people do that. I talk too much of random things. Don't worry about it, though. I don't. Now, is there anything missing here? I feel like what I really hate, what I hate so much, you're in school in order to gather basic knowledge so that you don't fumble around like a moron. That's basically it. After high school, I'll be honest with you, after high school, school doesn't matter nearly as much. We used to live in an age, when I went to college, I was told this: if you go to college, you'll get a job. Just go to college. Get a degree. Any degree matters. Everyone will hire you if you have a degree. Well, everyone went to college. Everyone went to college. And then you get out of college and like, where's the jobs? Oh, they're all gone. No one wanted to hire you because you had education at that point. And it got so much worse from there. Oh my gosh. What else was there? Honestly, the best way is to gain practical knowledge. Workplace knowledge is now more important than educational knowledge. That's the world we live in. So if you're highly educated, you're out of luck. Let's not talk about that. Makes me depressed. Really depressed. I mean, like really, really, really depressed. Ugh, college. Too much of it. Pointless, worthless. Connections and proof of what you can do is all you need. Nothing else matters in the end. They start making you go to college, all those other things. I'm about to go down a death spiral here. Your art degree of 2 to 4 years should entirely depend on whether or not you can get a job within those 2 years or 4 years. Especially with art degrees. If you want to do good in art, you need to figure out what you're doing and what it takes to get there. Start meeting people, start introducing yourself to people in that field when you're getting close to like doing your degrees and getting through it. Start meeting people that are already in that field and figure out what you should do by knowing them and like how to get in there. Don't be like, well, should I do a 2 or 4 year degree? No, go, what should I do to work in the same place that you work? What would get me in there? What do I need to know to do? And what should I do? Right? That's what you should be doing. Because otherwise, it'd be bad. See, I'm not an artist. I know this stuff because I was looking into art schools and stuff back then. I want to be a game designer. But to be a game designer, you need to be a game programmer. I don't program well. I don't like programming. I like designing. I come up with systems and complexities very well, easily, quickly. But they don't want that. No one wanted that. No one thought that's what's necessary or good. Oh, that's why. Interesting stuff. But remember, a good story must be told well, not just be a good story. It's kind of like right now, all the comics these days have stagnated. The concept of everyone copies each other so much. It's terrible. So much so that some stuff that like is slightly different kind of like comes out better, you know? Like breaking the mold is the best stuff, you know, people that don't do it. You got all the same thing, and the Japanese mangas are all about being another world, but a game system practically, and levels and all that stuff. And you have the same thing kind of in Korea with the manhwas, where they do the same thing, but the portals open up with demons and dungeons and other stuff, but it's always the same comic. Just a different, slightly basic different plot, where entirely the artwork and any like interesting characters are purely what keep the stuff going right, looking well, and not like just a copycat. American comics just try to make them all part of the same comic and go on too long. See, that's very interesting. That kind of reminds me of you know what you should do? If you're looking for a different perspective from different characters, if you're looking for inspiration from that, you should look at old video games. The Super Nintendo era actually had a lot of stuff like that. A lot of days, like people know Final Fantasy nowadays, like as Final Fantasy 15, where you play as 4 guys on a road trip, and then the game ends in 2 hours, and you just go back to the past through a dog. They killed that game. They could have done so well a game that started off with pushing a car that was out of gas. It was the best startup ever. I thought it was amazing. Then it just died out because it didn't have Final Fantasy's true essence. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII's remake though, so I don't know like how they did that well or not. But my point is, in like games like Final Fantasy, the whole point of it was you were a bunch of people, all with their own stories, backgrounds, and connections, and it's how they played together that created the whole story. Final Fantasy VI is my favorite Final Fantasy. It's my favorite game ever, honestly. And that had such a unique aspect to so much, you know? Oh, I had a little bit off the lines there. Oh, too dark. A lot of characters. You want to see how certain events impact them differently. Okay, that's an interesting thing to do. A lot of things do that. The only problem with a lot of things, I think, is sometimes people are more interested with how the characters are doing more at the current point than what the past was. Though sometimes it's interesting to show the background and stuff and like how they do it, separate into multiple stories and then bring them all together and stuff. That's always a fun thing too. Storytelling is such an interesting thing in the end, you know? How we achieve all that and do that. Okay, I really like that shading. I've seen a lot of stories in games like what you've got. That's interesting stuff. You should keep working on that. Reminds me of a lot of other things. It's very interesting and complex things. And some games try to go back to the retro style. But you want some good inspiration for your stuff. Look at old Super Nintendo video games. You've got things like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, and a lot of others. And some of them had... That's just back in like the Wild West days of gaming, where they didn't try to be so PC with things. And so a lot of characters, a lot of crazy stuff. In fact, nowadays we have games trying to go back to that era of stylization and stuff with some crazy twists, some horrible things happening, things that you wouldn't normally see in games these days, because that wouldn't sell it well. Like, we're talking about things that get themselves some, like, PG-13 plus ratings for a little pixel game sometimes, because the background is dark in some ways, or has some really crazy event happen to people that's not so great or nice and not politically correct or something. So there's some great things to look at. Look at the pixel games, RPGs that copy some of this stuff, and some things are great. And then you got some really interesting things that are deeper than you think. Like, everyone loves Undertale. I refused to play that game for years, so a friend bought it for me and made me play it. And oh my god, such a great game. So fun. So many characterizations. I loved it. Now, what do you guys think is missing from this model? What do you think needs work? I think the knuckles need work a little bit. Good bit, actually. I feel like the fingers are almost done. I don't know if there's anything really missing. A lot of it feels out of place because maybe like altering the transparencies of everything when I go down to making the model and stuff. This hasn't been blurred yet. Heresy. Yeah, I think the knuckles need some work. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I mean, the shading's so many tricks. I like using blur for shading. You just do a little line, you blur it, you shade it, done. All right, here. Oh, that's the point. I forgot of that. I was going to do that. Let me see. You know what? Before I forget, let's get that wrist out of the way. It's very simple to do. Easiest thing ever. Now, it might seem crazy what I'm going to do, because remember, this is the V2 model. This is not art. Duplicate. Select. Blacken it. Blacken like the darkness blackens. Am I thinking? Oh, that's all I did. That's all I did. That's all I did. And we're done, basically. Now we just blur it to have a nice soft edge. We're done. So we do here, the reason I'm doing like this, and like why am I not cutting it down to the wrist? Because the wrist can move, and we keep the shadow the same and make it masked. So the wrist moves under the shadow, and it looks like the shadow's moving. Not the shadow's not moving, the wrist will be moving under the shadow. See? Passive like that. It will mask it so that it only appears where the wrist is. We'll also put it to the, well, the patches might be part of the wrist, I think. I'm not going to do much to that. That's going to be interesting. When I get to rigging it, that's when I really start letting my creative juices run. That looks a lot better just having that little shadow show there, though. Compiling this will be a pain in the butt. That's what you got every time, though, when it comes to making V2 models. The unfortunate fact of it. Though, should it be smaller or not? And the curve might be a little different if I do that. Yeah, we'll just twist it if we need to. No one's going to pay attention. A big problem with all art aspects, And making feature models especially is falling into the feature creep nightmare. You suddenly go, oh, I'm going to keep adding things and adding things. Look, it's awful. Let me see if I can show something similar kind of thing. Not quite, but... So, I've been working on my model improvements for a long time. I mean a long time. I mean a long time. Because I keep on looking for more ideas to add to it and not wanting to push out the current version so much, even though I should just be doing, oh, check out, new feature. Actually, I've only done that once. You can see with my model, if you ever look, there's a little bit of a shadow where the, not shadow, a highlight on the mask, making it shine and stuff and shifting as I twist. It's a bit of improvement to the new version. Let me see if I can find the... Oh, there it is. There. There's a little display I have of this. See, I'm improving the beard. Much more realistic, better, higher definition. It's going to look good. The mask has been better a bit. At the same time, I kind of miss the ruggedness of my model to look like that, but it's going to be a lot better. Also, the eyes will show emotion soon. Not just me glaring into the dark, almost unblinking at you guys. It'll actually have some stuff. I want to be able to look at Silent with a sussy face. Fun fact here. When I said my model's face is trash, I meant it. See that there? That little, like, opening? My model is not well made for the face. This is my first VTube model, honestly. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would. But it's a rigging battle to get everything to look right. But that's basically taken care of. I wonder if I should, hold a second. An idea. If I could use the radial approach, the reverse, to do this. I do that to here. If I do that to here. I just, okay. Why did I do that to here? A little bit. Well, it works a little bit, actually. Further away, maybe. Try to center that a bit. Makes it a bit more soft in the end. In my opinion, I think it works better that way. I'll tell you what, the eyes will not stop popping out, though. With the new improvements, all I'm doing is adding basically... I like to show visuals a lot of times. We're going to do that real quick. So we have the eyes, right? I mean, this is basically how my model's eyes look, right? A little bit wider and creepier and all. All I've done is add 2 black boxes to my model to shape the eyes. It's not looking right. And it lets me kind of look like sus at people and stuff if I have 2 eyes like that. You know, then we just, you know, decrease it a little bit. Lets me sigh my eyes at people and just look upset at them and stuff. That's what my new model is able to do, basically. Well, not new models, just improvements and stuff. On top of that, we're going to be a bit more probably on it. Better physics for the robes and stuff, a little bit. Improving the eye highlight, the mask highlight a bit. What else did I try? I tried doing teeth. Didn't come out the best. But also, if I do teeth, I have to remodel teeth. I'm also shifting the animations with teeth a little bit to make them look better. There's a weird mouth glitch I have sometimes. It's kind of off. I'm fixing that up. Also improving the mouth. I'll be able to do ooh sounds a little better looking. Not better sounds, but you know, better animations to go with it. Look better. Look better. That's the point of it. Having thoughts in my head telling me what I should do. That's the good times is when it does that. Gotta look at my stream sometimes, make sure to hit a button and send myself upside down again. That's fun. Let's check something real quick before we continue on. We're getting close to the end of the stream, though, unfortunately. It's getting really late. But I want to check some stuff first. Which website for what? SSAA. Which website are we talking about? Like, website in what regard? I was saying, there's a lot of websites I use for a lot of things. What are we talking about with that? I need context. Did I miss context? Any context in that? If you're asking what program I'm utilizing to create the art, it is Krita. It is a free art program, and I highly advise it. I literally dropped... Was it Paint Shop was what I used instead of Photoshop. I like Paint Shop back in the day. And I bought the free version. I didn't buy free. I didn't use a free version. I got only paid version. I had a version of it I paid for. As soon as I started using Krita, I dropped it because that has to update, right? So you pay for an update every year. I wasn't going to do that, so I was behind. So I found out Krita is free, and I use that. It also lets you do animations in it, apparently. So this is Krita. It's with a K. That's the program, Krita. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. It's great. I mean, it is great. I think at this bounce. This is my new idea. Sometimes combining light and dark together makes really interesting effects, and we'll see what we get with that. We get a dimple with that side, okay. So then we do the other side. Whoops. Bevel. That's a good one. We don't need that. Wonder. Thought came to my mind. I must try this idea. We'll do it again. With a copy and a blur. I'll cast it below it. Can't see the shadows, but I got an idea for that. We'll duplicate repeatedly. That didn't do much in there. We'll duplicate again. What's going on? Ooh, programs are getting weird. We'll blur this down a bit. I should have merged them first so we can find out if that works or not. It's all testing anyways. And we just simply post it and we alter it. Little shape difference. Eyelashes are an interesting thing. There's a lot of variety with that. I fear the day I have to learn to do any for V2 models and stuff. My goal is to get paid by people to make V2 models. Well, rig them more than make them, honestly. Like I say, I'm not a good artist. But I'm decent enough to do some edits and stuff. That's important for a lot of people. It's possible. You can. I mean, technically, Fury. Now, this is an interesting thing. You should look at this. You can make your own animation shows and movies without having to be paid by other people. You can utilize like YouTube and stuff like that. There's this animator on YouTube called Tom Bates. Makes a little grotesque, kind of like comical animations and stuff called Nigel and Marmalade. I've subscribed to him heavily. Anytime he puts out an animation, I immediately watch it. So there's a lot of people who do that. There's also the what's that? Dungeon Soup is pretty popular these days. So in the end, you don't have to even work for a company. You can get popular, just make animations. Just start making them. Make your cartoons. Get them going. If you can make animations, and just remember, all your failures are going to be successes in the end, because they're going to teach you a lot. Even if it doesn't come out the way you want or other things, it's got something to it. And you'll learn so many techniques to like, oh, I'm going to do this to really make my stuff stand out. Do it. Do it. Show them that you can do something they didn't think you could do. And it might get popular. So yes, if you could just create your own cartoons on your own, and they were popular enough, and funny enough, and good enough, and somehow got popular, bam, you're good. You just gotta put it out there. And bonus information, if it doesn't succeed well, you can use it for portfolio. And that's even better in some ways. Shading is one of the only things I kind of like with my stuff, but I don't like doing people shading. I like doing object shading. And shading's good because it changes things from looking bad to good. My model did not pop out until I added shading. And that was just, all I did was create a circle and a inner circle that was like, well, you know, I created the head shape. And I just cut out the shape of the head a little bit by using the head itself. I just took the head, made another head, made it pure black, made another head, shrunk it, and used it as a cookie cutter to cut out the shape of an outline. And then I just blurred it. And my model popped out from that. It just popped out. It's great. It looks so much more better with that. So I like when shading makes things go from, you know, nothing to something. You know, like, you get a circle, it's like, oh yeah, you color it a color or something. Doesn't matter what. I just like the idea of, you know, shading is just simple. I don't even have my things are the right thing, do I? That's why I like blur. It's like anything with like colors, just like just put a little bit in there and bam, it just pops out. Okay, maybe I'm not like the best idea with the ball and the overly dark side and stuff. If I do this, probably better. Do that. Got that. Oh, we blur. Okay, still didn't look good. Anyways, I use the oversight shadow, so it looks better. That's just how I like doing stuff. Knuckles are in place, probably. Well, honestly, real knuckles are kind of off center a little bit too. Maybe I should do that, actually. Maybe I should do the off-center sono. Because the middle knuckle is weird in that it sticks higher. This might be lower. I can always add knuckle stuff to it later again. It'll be just on top of everything anyways. It's not too big of a deal to mess with. We're getting close to the end, though. We're getting so close to the end. Taste it! Completion! An opportunity to animate again. That's what I really want is the animation part. I'm so... I can't tell you. So close to finish. Let's take a look at what we've achieved in 2 days. That's the achievement difference. I mean, honestly, we're gonna mute a lot of these issues here a bit. Thumb's big time improved. Don't have any... I mean, it's stretching at the thumb joint, of course, so, you know, I wouldn't have any finger marks. I had a lot of finger details to this stuff beforehand, thinking it would, like, you know, it helps also kind of, like, see the angle of everything. Definitely an improvement on the knuckles. Definitely an improvement. At least on the, I don't know if I want to keep that or not, though, but... Maybe I should just... dull them down a bit. Which ones? I don't have any of my layers labeled. What is that, 142? That looks a lot better subtle. Yeah, it looks perfectly good subtle. We will keep the opacity at max. Always keep your opacity at max with your V2 models, people. Unless you hard bake it onto the object and call it a day. Because you can change the opacity in VTube Studio. Not VTube, I mean Live 2D, in Live 2D. But you can change the opacity in Live 2D. You can always reduce it. You can't add it back in. So if it goes in half, that's your maximum. You can't make it any darker. Or, you know, better opacity. You can just transparent it a bit more. That's it. That's all you can do. So you gotta be careful. Or else you have other problems. You have to, like, go back into your art program, jack that opacity up, or redraw it and put it back in that way. It's terrible. Especially if it doesn't fit the same second time, you know? And don't feel bad if you gotta get rid of some of your textures and shaders. Big thing about it. Also, don't be afraid to have more parts. Unless, of course, you are on free Live 2D, in which case you have to be very afraid of having too many parts. Because it's a part limit and a deformer limit. So you gotta be careful with that. But, if you're on the non-paid version, if you're on the paid version, you don't have to worry so much. I'm on the paid version of Live 2D. It costs $100 a year, basically. Which is very interesting. If you pay for a year of Live 2D, it actually gets cheaper the next 2 years. It goes down to like 3/4 the price. And if you know somebody that has Live 2D, they can actually give you a cheat code for it or something like that. I don't know. Like for like one person or something like that. Very interesting stuff with it. They have a very good system in place, in my opinion. Still, I don't know if I should just go YOLO on this or what. Pretty close. Sort of like the wrist or the over glove a lot better now. I don't like how shiny it looks, but that's all opacity stuff. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna make it more look like this in the end, which is a little of this. Jerry, I'm honestly telling you, that's actually a pretty cheap price for the stuff. If you ever, it's Live 2D though. I'll tell you this, Live 2D. I've been talking to people. They're like, I paid for it, but I've never used it. That's the worst thing I've ever heard, honestly. I think Brightworks told me that the other day. It's very sad to me because Live 2D is not that hard to use. But the thing is, I would highly suggest for anyone that's thinking of animating with Live 2D or making V2 models with Live 2D, which is still animating, but use the free version first. Use the free version, people, because the free version has limitations. And those limitations will teach you things that you have to overcome when you don't have the free version. So people that pay for it and start learning it that way are actually at a deficit compared to people that are making some sort of crappy model with the free version. Because if you can make a good model with the free version, you'll make a great model with the paid version. Because you can add so many more parts to it and things that make it just pop and this. But you've learned how to like limit yourself to like, I don't need 1,000 shadows in this spot. I just need a few. I don't need 1 billion over here. I don't need there. I can make one deformer do everything. I can make the parts. You learn how to like tidy up your stuff because you have a limitation of 30 deformers. Those are like little like squares that lets you animate beneath it and warp and mold stuff a bit. I got videos on that talking about it a little bit. But in the end, you have a limited number of parts. You have a limited number of things. So you have to make a model with less. If you can make a model with less, you can make it with more. Unless you choose not to. Trying to see if there's anything I'm missing here. Be perfectly honest with you guys. I really that's not the one I want to show. Let me see. Where's the other one? There we go. We'll do a hand test. This is my original concept for the hand of it, right? Orange stayed the same. Put blue here instead of like maroon burgundy kind of because I wanted to really make it look. I've been told to add blue to my model a bit. And I thought that'd be a good way to start. It's like patchwork on the hand. The whole thing is looking haphazard now. Come on now. I'm a cultist of a cult of nothing. So, you know. Gotta look like it. But I wanted to like knock off one of the fingertips. But I was thinking, man, that'd be really hard to do. I kind of really want to do that. But I can always go back and change it, I guess, you know. Models are interchangeable. You have multiple parts and you can change out parts. You can go back to the original model art and also change out that art piece and just re-upload it. Bam! Everything just changes there. Done. Keeps the same edges. Basically polygons. 2D polygons. We call that with the art mesh. Now. A thought again. I have to follow this thought. we'll go with 4, so I can get some proper going with this. Any more than 4. Fine. See how this looks. Oh, that does it. That's good. Okay, that's good. That's good. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay. Blur one bit at a time. We'll see what number we need for this to really slide out there a bit. 20. How much do less? Let's do 15 or so. I want to blur it again later. I want to knock it down to 10. Okay, we almost got it here. Look at that. Just get this in case. Look at the whole thing selected so that it doesn't go off. I will blur a little bit more. Look at that. Kind of pulls off a bit more. Ah, it works. It's a good knuckle. Well, you know, good enough for my style and stuff. I'll get everything working better eventually. Or blur the edges more, but it's not more. I'm not good at anti-aliasing the edges very much. I think V2 Studio or Live 2D does it again for you, so it's not too bad. It does the lines even better, kind of stuff. I think that's a pretty. I think that's a pretty bad, good shift. But now I'm noticing the knuckles are small and dense. But we can get both together. I did launch them. Oh, I don't want to. Why is it? Oh. The heck is that? Evil! Gone. You said you were tagging me. Which way do you mean by that? Very curious. I'm not the smartest when it comes to seeing things in social medias and such. Like a weirdo that knows all these advanced technologies but doesn't know the basic like communication stuff with people at all times. Very confused. Like a grandma with like a cell phone that goes, I don't know how this is. Let me show you how to use the electron microscope, however. I used it back in the day when we had to do 2 rocks and a piece of glass to see how the microbe. Bad. Not bad at all. If you want to see some art shift, I can show you some art shift. Let me show you my attempt to make my model on part number 2. Now what you're currently seeing is actually an older design. Sort of. The robe is an older design. What was it? I was told, your DPI is wrong, you can't use that. 5K by 5K, you can't do a robe like that. I made my V2 model robes in 5K by 5K resolution because I didn't know how much. I thought I could always shrink, and they're like, you can't shrink. Yes you can. Yes you freaking can. You can absolutely shrink. They lied to me. Where is it? I want to see my crappy design. There we go. That's the crappy design. This was attempt number 2. What you are seeing on my model is attempt number 1. I tried doing a different shading style and it just didn't work, and I just decided to reuse my 2-shade style. So this is my art style. It's just shading, right? That's all it's about. Almost like an oil painting. This would have looked like such a beginner level V2 model animated. And it would be kind of. Might have been interesting though. So I went back to my old design, which is what you're seeing. Oh, yes, it did, didn't it? That's why I went back to my old design and I carved it out. Oh, you want to see something really crazy? Do you want to see attempt number 1? We have the robes from attempt number 1. But I can show you a picture of attempt number 1. Let me see. Do I have the... a comparison somewhere. There it is. I posted this on Twitter a while back. This is my first model attempt. Notice the ropes are very similar. Tidied up, and we have this. So this is how I drew it the first time and decided I can't do it. You know, people are like, you need to do VTubers with us. You should make it yourself, do it like that, blah, blah. I tried to draw it because I didn't want anyone else to draw my model because I don't think they could do it very well comparatively, right? It's gotta be me. Gotta be all about me, right? So this is what I drew. Do you see that? Hideous. Then we drew this. It's what we're using right now. but it looks not that great, right? But when you animate and you modify and you warp and you change and you shift, you squish correctly, that's what happens with Light Duty. It just looks terrible. It looked absolutely terrible. That's the thing that happens with it, you know. Oh, I see your art now, Fury. Okay, I had to get to your channel to look at that. That's neat, actually. That's good art style. That's good stuff, Fury. I like your art. I like it a lot. You have a very, I don't know, very easy to make, like, comic style, like, art. Kind of looks like you can, like, toss a bunch of stuff together and you just have, it just looks animated. That's the best way to put your art style there. I think you did a good job. I like that. That was really cool art. Looked at Furry. Looking at your Fury, I looked on your channel and saw it. I really think you have a nice art style. And what's interesting about your art style is it's kind of like, you can see how mine is like, it's like concrete. It's static. It's there. You know, which honestly worked well for me with my Vtuber model. My Vtuber model looks a lot different from everyone else's. All those anime girls, I mean, you can't imagine me with like all that sparkly anime girls. One of these days on April 1st, you might see me with different eyes as a joke. I've been considering that for a while, honestly. But your art style, your static art looks like it's in motion, which is completely opposite than mine. Mine has to be animated to flow. And it's kind of concrete. Let's face it. But then again, I'm a creeper in the dark. So fun fact too is I forgot one of these. This reminded me of one of the animations I'm adding to my model is a shadow for inside the hood, where I can turn off everything but the eyes. And since only the iris of the eye or whatever part, I don't know eye biology that well anymore. I've never paid attention to it. There's only that shows up instead of like the big glowing, like, you think like a creepy eye thing would happen, right? No. I look like a Jawa, which honestly, I freaking love Jawas, so I can't complain. They're my favorite Star Wars race, Jawas. I've ever, like, my friends were like, we're going to do a D&D campaign with characters. I'm like, if I can't play a Jawa, I'm not playing. You want to be a Jawa? That's damn right I want to be a Jawa. A completely incomprehensible Jawa that gets in and out of his head and is belligerent. That's my goal. But your art style reminded me of the Incredible Digital Circus stuff. I don't watch that, so I don't know a lot and everything else. But I mean, I've seen the art style and stuff. It's very interesting. Do you have to officially make a comic? What you could start doing is, this is my advice for you, Fury, okay? This is my advice for you, Fury. Forgive my enunciation issues. It happens all the time. But what you should do, and this is my advice to you, as a really terrible creator that one time had it big, but no one ever watches. People want to watch me be crazy now, but they never want to watch my like when I make tutorials. Like, I'm about to go on a tangent here about the fact they used to never watch my machinimas, which honestly are pretty terrible nowadays. I could do a really good job these days if I try, but I'm not going to. Anyways, I digress. Don't worry. I'm just having a conversation with myself. It happens a lot. We have a council in my head. Anyways, this is what you should do. Make comics. Learn video animating. Not real animation, video animation. This is like animating videos where you like shoot a shot from one shot to another, add a little bit of motion to it and everything else, and figure out how to make things not so static and everything else and shift the camera and stuff. Take a single picture you have, create a cartoon of it without animation. You just shift the pose from like part of the comic to part of the comic, right? And certain zoom ins and stuff. Have your friends learn to voice act and act out your comics in a single non-moving picture. Have them do characters, draw based on the person's voice, so you can make characters that come from their like idealization, right? You do some characters that way, and you get things like Silent. His model is based on my view of his perception and stuff, and it came that way. I'm sure that as well. Sure. His voice there. That's the evolution of a V2 model right there. Tell me that doesn't give you guys nightmares at night. That's what happens with the design sometimes. Yeah, just based on a person's voice, like, he's like screaming, like, you'd be hilarious as a screaming, like, Muppet or something. Well, it ended up going that route. It's just two drawings. It's like one thing, like, maybe we should make it like a Sesame Street character, and then evolved into a more human-like strip status with very human-like teeth, but like creepily. Silent's a hilarious person and crazy and stuff. And it's a mime chef puppet. It's a mime chef puppet. And that other eye looking the wrong direction, that's a ping pong ball. This model, I've made it turn so well. You can see him on Silent Mime Guy. With YouTube and Twitch even. He's been streaming a lot lately, so he's got more videos. A little bit of cursing and all that, but hilarious fella. And I do streams with him on Fridays. But that is what I did. I came up with the concept. We worked on it over time for a long time, actually. And then finally, after a lot of work, we got that. Now, here's the problem. Here's the horrible problem. Silent had no idea what he wanted to be. He had preferences, and it took us months to just get the concept going. And then I drew it up and worked on it and stuff. The eye tattoos alone, like, took a while. Oh, he's got a funny voice. I feel like the model perfectly envisions his voice, too. And that's a lot of problems we have with people like V2 models. You have a lot of people like, I just want to be what I want to be and stuff. And they'll pick anything else. They'll pick a different gender with melts and etc. Well, we did a stream on Friday, but Silent is doing a stream tomorrow, Thursday. What is he playing? Oh, he's playing Cuphead tomorrow. We get to watch him scream. I'm going to be yelling at him on Twitch. I'm trying to get him to get the chat going like I have right now. I'm like the trailblazer of our Vtuber streaming group. Of course, you know, I made his model and my model, so you know. That is that, though, with his stuff. And he's really funny, though. He is hilarious. I made a clip from his on his Twitch tonight, earlier tonight. I did, and it was hilarious. I'm gonna tell you right now, if he has a bad time, he's gonna force me to play it with him. He's gonna force me to play it with. I just know it. I just know how to get cut. I don't really care for those kind of platformer games or something and such, but you know, chaos and stuff. We do it. I stream games to have a little bit of fun, but I mostly do it for the community and people. Also, if people want me to play a game I don't like, I'll do it. Silent made me play Getting Over It. He played it one day, and it broke him. It broke him. I did it for weeks. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe not a little bit, but I did it for weeks, and I got pretty far. He got further faster than me and all that, but Silent also mimics me when I play, which the mime puppet thing is far closer than you would think. I got to get him to play Speedrunners one day, because that was a game we just started, and I was insanely good at it for no reason whatsoever. Makes no sense. I beat everybody for an entire month. No one beat me at Speedrunners among my friends. Not a single one. Play the people in the back of me, like the background characters and stuff. It's all Command's got such good animation because it's hand drawn and stuff. It's fun because it's art style. But yeah, Fury. Before end streams, we're taking it. Get your friends, figure out your friends who can do good voices. It's a modern era. Everyone's got good microphones these days, or at least better microphones. Have them voice your comics. Just draw a single comic. And go from panel to panel, like learn animation software. You can get DaVinci Resolve, 5 gigabytes, huge program, free, used by professionals. We're talking like Star Wars grade frickin' animation software. Everything, all my software's free stuff I use. My V2 model is made on frickin' Live 2D free, Creatus free. But, you know, if you even just draw a picture anywhere, it doesn't matter how you get your picture. You just upload it, scan it. If you're doing it analog, digitally draw it or something. But just upload it as an image. Get a PNG, so it's better quality and stuff. But as high quality as you can, scanned in or drawn in digitally. And have your friends voice for you there and learn how to do like camera skips with editing. I've got an editing tutorial on my channel here. It's not the greatest. I don't like editing, but I've learned a lot of things. And you just try to like figure out ways to make it more animated by just shifting the camera. But you can actually make an entire cartoon with a single comic strip and post on YouTube. It's all about editing, audio, and move how you shift the camera around. So it's a very interesting thing you can do with that. You can look up on, some people do that on YouTube already. A lot of people do like comics and stuff like that. So they just do small images changes, but you'll see a lot with just like 6 frames or less entire animations. They're not animating. They're displaying an animation of a single image without animating it. And it's all about camera shifts and camera positions. It's very interesting to do. And I should probably look into that one day, but I gotta find draw the characters and stuff or stuff. Or maybe I'll have to learn how to do it. Oh, I don't want to learn to do it. I've learned too many skills already. Gosh, I have too many talents. You have no clue how many talents I have. I can explain that to you very well, Fury. So, long-form videos are about people clicking on it. The shorts feed forces people to watch. And based on how well they watch it, it will force other people to watch it. Shorts are very easy to trick people into and convince them to watch, and others don't do so well. So you'll see some with 200, some with 2,000, but they don't go past 3,000. I have one that got close. And that was ironically an indie game before I actually knew what I was doing with VTube model making and stuff. Or not model making, VTube streaming and stuff. And that was when I was playing a mech game and I sipped on people. If you look at one of my earliest shorts, it's a mech video. I step on people. And I have a really big reaction. I'm practically crying. I'm just so distressed at it. The thing about that is I had a few camera clips to like the action. And it kept going that way. So you can learn a lot from like how these videos do it. But shorts are forced by the algorithm. YouTube is choosing how many people watch it, not the people. If you're a nobody and people don't want to click on it or something, it's also based on who sees your stuff. So by me now doing art streams, YouTube might finally start showing my long form videos to people that have watched my art streams. They're like, oh, I like that. And then they'll see videos like how I made 1 pixel V2 model. And that's basically a record holder. No one can beat that. 1 pixel V2 model. 1 pixel. Showing that it can show animation, life, and etc. without having to be animated like other things do it. How can we do it? That's all experiment. It's a terribly done model. I might pick it up again one day. But so if you make cartoons and you make them for shorts and you learn to do camera stuff to show a comic with audio with friends and stuff, sound effects, etc. Think of it like a drama disc that some people do with animes and stuff. They start releasing audio tapes, like an old radio kind of thing, right? You do that, but you're showing off images, like a picture book, but just audio. And that's what's going. That will help you. You could make a thing out of that. You can become popular just by doing that. If you just have voices and stuff. So you make characters. You find your friends. You think, oh my gosh, Ted has a really funny voice. Ted, I want you to play a voice of a stupid fat man for me. Do that stupid fat man voice you do. Do that really big, like, voice. I wanted you to do a slob or something. And you make a comic on that. Because now you have a character voice that you know would fit the character you design around it. So there's no, like, oddity to it. It doesn't feel outside. Yeah. You basically make, like, well, a webtoon is like a colored comic and, like, manhwas and stuff, or like the Korean stuff. What I'm basically saying is, you can find some cartoons, people do this on YouTube, where they have a comic strip. Somebody just basically has a few words to say for each, like, frame, and they make it hilarious because they just, like, they vibrate the image a little bit. They shift between them real, like, dynamically, just whoosh, 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 whoosh while someone's talking and stuff, and it really comes out well. I'll just see if I can just make a little quick thing to show you kind of thing. Let's just see. You know, it would just be squares and panels and stuff. And then sometimes cutaways and everything else. And it could be like a single comic, right? And you would just have a transition from how you would, you know, read it normally, right? And it would just have people there talking or something. Or then you have a close-up of one of them or something with a speech text bubble. A counterpoint or something with a confused eyebrow or something. Or then maybe another picture where you just have a front thing, right? And it would just be like you have them meet. Someone says something funny. Someone reacts, is that stupid? And they say, maybe it is stupid. You know, it's just like how you would shift it with like a camera angle. That's just how it works. You know, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Or it could just be a clip. You just hear. And then all of a sudden it's just here. And all of a sudden it clips to here. It's not even like a movement. You can do movement or something just... You can just do movement and just transition. And then you just go... Just, you know, change frames. They have an editing video that will show you how kind of a little bit with some of that stuff with such. I don't know Dandy's World stuff, but you can also do your, if you do original content, you can stand out. And original content goes a lot further than copied content. But you can inspire characters on already out there content. No such thing as originality these days, honestly. There's a little originality. Originality is like, oh, I see how this character's doing that, but I think that's kind of stupid. I would go this route with them if I could, right? And so you make a character that's like inspired by, but goes a completely different route. And that goes a lot better. And then you can do anything you want to with it. You might even expand it. Over time, your character shifts. It changes. It evolves. I mean, heck, even I'm in evolution. My original, like, design isn't even me, really. But it is. But it isn't, but it is. Let's see, where is the stuff to show? So, my whole design comes from Final Fantasy XIV. Single outfit, my character, etc. Though, that character is also based more on me than you would like to think. Why do you think the voice matches my model so well? I'm not fake. I'm 1000% here and real. When you have so many places you put pictures and stuff you can't remember. I thought I had a picture on hand about that, showing off it originally. It must be, I must have, you know, I drew it from other, you know, I bet I know where it's at. No, I bet I know where it's at. It's in my other video stuff. I would suggest for you, Fury, is you have a grand concept and stuff inspired by all this stuff. Why don't you practice with simpler concepts and use that information and knowledge to kind of get out there, get a following, and then you can basically be like, okay, this is Project A. This is my funny little comic about two stupid people. This is Comic B. This is my grand epic. I want to make it into something there and really push forward. Now, Comic A teaches you the base minimum. And because it's two stupid characters or something, errors aren't that hated. They're not like, oh, that's stupid. I don't like someone trying to do. You did a terrible job at this. You're like, ha, funny, bad and funny work together, right? So you go through the growing pains with this kind of like sacrificial, stupid characters that are funny, and they evolve and they get better. You might keep them for other things. And this gives you the knowledge and also might get you a bit of a viewer base that you can then expand into your more advanced like stuff. That's my advice though. But then again, nobody watches my content. I'm not good at that. I should start doing some stuff like that myself, honestly. Then again, I have some great ideas, but like the people I need in order to make the great animations I want aren't debuted yet. 10 months. He said he was going to debut Thursday. Guess what? Work came up. He's not debuting Thursday. I tried to get him to at least do a debut video. Then I can show the animations. I animated a furry, okay? I animated a freaking furry. Like really good. Like really good. And his artwork did not let me animate it really good. I still did really good. The animation's great, by the way. The art was amazing. The problem was it was hard baked in, so I couldn't shift around, do things. I had to add patches and everything else. Yes, start small, go big. Make a side project. Make something that will attract people. Give you the experience to understand how YouTube and visibility works, as well as to produce things. Then you can start doing the big stuff later when you're like, okay, I have my epic ready. I'm planned for it. Let's get some people in on this. It will immensely help you. I'll guarantee you that, okay? So like, you know, if you start small, yeah, I can't show off his thing, technically, but I've been showing it all along. You haven't just noticed. No one's noticed. I animated a furry. It's been there all along, but no one's noticed. By the way, this is a picture from a, when I was doing it, one of the, because I had to reanimate him, because animations were very flat. I got his face going all the way out to here, practically. Or maybe more like here. Mouth opens. Most furry VTubers, they have a little mouth here like blah blah blah. Whoa. No. No. His mouth opens. It opens. My best animation work is on this model here. That's also why it's a wall. So I had a mistake while doing its animations. And what happened was it derped out. So I took the eye parameters and I shifted them opposite directions. I'm like, okay, this is the best. And I doodled on a mustache, a goatee, and a unibrow. But that's a non-debut model right there. I can show it because it's a warped consideration of what he looks like. People find his model incredibly attractive. He went from looking like a weasel to a fox. He is not a weasel or fox. I know he's not a rat, but he is rat to me. We call him Rat for a reason. But I did that. I animated a ringtail for him. A nice fluffy ringtail. He will be doing horror games. He's like a horror aficionado. He loves horror. He loves all the kills in the old school, especially. He doesn't like the new horror as much as he likes old horror. He's a big fan of Jason Voorhees and even more classics. He's kind of like, what's her name? The horror movies, Amira or whatever. He's like that kind of. And he also does like, he's obsessed with 80s content and cassettes. I've done tons of animations for him. I have a hilarious toggle where, yes, he says not rat. That's his entire response. Every time we say rat, we just hear not a rat crying in the background. But this is the guy got me to be a VTuber. Has not debuted in 10 months. 10 months. And that's why he's on the background with a unibrow and a mustache goatee combination. This is this background's animated. If you look at my old videos, you will see this in the background. The paper flutters. I don't remember how I got to do so well, but the paper looks great when it flutters. I'm so proud of this artwork, honestly. We got the red string looking good. I got an entire short dedicated to this, to some of this guy's music. The on-air sign goes from here to flat. That's how it goes. So this spins to that. These are crackling over here. This sparks. The water drips. Oh yeah, I do think, I think you're right. When I show off his model, I think I'm going to become a little popular because that is so wildly different and unique. And I have a video. I have a video I showed him where I showed him his old model looking left, right, up, down, twisting its neck. And then I showed the model changes and stuff, and it went from just a little bit of movement to full 360 like look. I did this incredible thing with his chin disappearing because he looks up the line for it, which looks like the underside of his neck. That would be this line right here. I did so much with it. I don't know if I'd ever get him. I wonder if I could get him to play Final Fantasy. He wouldn't be scared by it. He would hate jump scares. They're just stupid. He thinks they're stupid. He might curse at them. I'm afraid that he might, like, just freak out one day and just over curse or something at stupid stuff. But other than that, that's this stuff. But he had this great plan for all this stuff, people working together. It all ended up being just me. It's just me being me, and people don't like me enough. I'm just here in the corner, not being seen by people. Thankfully, in these art streams, I find people like you, Fury, who like to like look at the stuff and talk to me and stuff. Makes it a lot more fun. But I just showcase all my stuff here. But yeah, that's the thing. It's animated. Let me just see what everything animates. Just to show you. I can show you. So, obviously, let me get a brighter color. Let's get yellow. Yellow seed everywhere. Obviously, that's super animated. We have 1, 2, 3 kinds of static. This is animated. This is animated. This is animated. That's not animated. That's animated. This is animated, which goes out of hearing animated. This area over here is animated. I've got, it doesn't show it there, but I've got some other stuff. You'll see one day. Hopefully it gets better there. And this is animated. This little thing's animated. This is animated, but 4 times over. This little block's animated, and believe it or not, these little lights are animated. Oh, and this is animated here, and this is animated here. I do animations. I also teach animations on Live 2D stuff. So if you're ever curious of making V2 models. Oh, and technically, we got animations of these little spots here. Another animation right here. The fans are super animated. I love how my work on the fans are the one thing that I am truly impressed by what I've done. Also, this is animated. On top of that, shadows are animated. The whole screen is animated. There's 5 shadows. Somebody's walking back and forth. So yes, my background is... So I did an animation for this, right? In 4K, mind you. It's a little glitchy, honestly, because it was on my old computer. This animation is... I got these parts into Live 2D, I rigged them up, and then I used Live 2D to animate it. I created a 10-minute long looping video. So I didn't have to make a model that just animated all the time. I could just make a video in the background instead and just use it that way. So I have a 10-minute looping video of this because it's just all the sorts of things. We have little eyes that pop in the corner too if you ever watch this long enough. Also, the screen shows me smiling occasionally. Really fun stuff. Diabolical stuff with the old stuff. This is a really, really animated background for the most part. Took me 5 days to draw it versus 1/2 a day to animate it. This part here practically turns almost all the way. Almost. However, back to this guy again. Let me tell you what he has. Let me tell you what he has. He had requested, not just once, twice he requested of me to make assets for him. Not just assets. Separate video stuff I can't even talk about. I have created for him. Drawn by me. Drawn by me. Drawn by me. I don't draw well. I drew for him a VCR. A VHS. VCR. The tape. The tape slides in. The doors close on it. I got him a VCR. I made him a VCR. A VCR! I made this guy a VCR thing. It's custom drawn. It looks really good, by the way. It's a really good work of art. Unfortunately for my stupid self, I didn't make it flat and then rotate it in Live 2D to a state. Oh no, I drew it at an angle. The rat's got so many animations. He keeps on saying, but I don't believe him one day. If he goes a year, I'm telling this every time. If he goes a year without debuting, because I debuted when he said, I'll debut in a week. It's been 10 months. It's been 10 months. And He was like, I'll debut. So the thing is, he said he would debut, and I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and get going, right? I'll go ahead and got going. And what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. It was just me. I've learned so much. I can help anyone out there with this stuff, because I've learned the startup sequence of it all, which is why we have all the stuff of other things and such. You know what? Let me pop up a few things here. See if I can shift the stream to it or not, too. Or maybe I can put it in the side ground or something. Probably can do it just OBS here. Let me see if I can find it. Let's call this Showcase on OBS program. It's going to want me to make a file. Let's see if we got file. Let me see. I can show my animations off real quick. I do have some that not like him. They're mine from my stuff. Where did I put them, though? I'm gonna forget where my stuff is. I know where all his stuff is. Let me see if I can find it. So, I've learned to animate, not just in Live 2D, but also in other things. Let me see if I can do that. Mute it? Don't want to play that. That'll blow everyone's ears out. I can't change the volume at the start. So I'm trying to find the part that's not done that way. I thought I had it just separately for one of these things. I animated, I have this problem where I have ideas, right? I just have to show pictures, and you can just look at the videos themselves if you want to see it. So I have two big videos, how V2 models actually work, and I made a 1 pixel V2 model, which is probably the world's smallest V2 model ever made, because I don't think anyone else has done it, and it's unbeatable. I'll just find the art titles and show what I did. It's my last thing to show for the night, because I gotta go to bed. I gotta go up in like 4 hours. I take care of families, pets, and stuff while they're out of town and stuff. So this is a title of a video I made, right? Normally you would think, oh, you've done it. I use AI to help me with ideas, but I made this all myself. No AI assistance other than just saying, does it look like this is good? Why don't you make your arrow point smaller? Good idea. So what I did is the arrow is moving. It's different, right? I have this grid enlarged a little bit so I can move it around in this little block space. I have the pixel move, and I have the title move around. So what I did was, I know, right? I do it all the time too much, but so this is what I did. You can see this on the video for how I made a 1 pixel V2 model. The arrow moves, the big grid moves, the pixel in the box moves, and the title moves a little bit. And it's really nice looking. So that was a thumbnail I made, and then all of a sudden I just like sit there one day, I'm like, I have to make this animated. I have to animate it. So I go back to the parts, shift them around a little bit, make it more so I can utilize it, and I animate it in the video editing program. So that's how that worked. On top of that, this is the other, let me see if I got the image for that. It's the most important video I've ever made, honestly. This thing. You'll see it. You can't be smaller than a pixel. But this is the other video I made where I animated the title. All these cogwheels on the side. All these cogwheels on the side. They're animated. The text is animated via the editing program. And the background over here, which is this entire section actually, is a video. And all of that together is the video I made, which is animated to drop in place. Which I think is worked really good. The title sequence for my two biggest videos, how V2 models actually work, and I made a 1-pixel V2 model, I believe are really good. The title drops, I feel, are the best parts of the videos. But then again, it's what I had the most effort in the making. Well, actually, no, it's just that I had animated them. I like my animations. I do not like editing videos. It takes too much time. You can't beat a pixel. You cannot beat a pixel. But the only way I wouldn't hold it would be if somebody already did this before me. But I cannot find any information on it. And even if they claim they do, I'm the only one with the video on it. So, V2 models are all about parts. How parts interlock. How parts go around each other. And how they move at different speeds. Interlock. That's what makes a V2 model special. It makes it realism. If you're just a block with no change or shift, how do you express that? By bouncing it around everywhere. By spinning it in a circle. And by coloring it differently at different times. That's how you make the world's smallest V2 model a V2 model. Because if it just sat there and did nothing, it's not a V2 model. Probably. I have no fame for it yet, but I'll be working on that one day. I need to make some shorts on that, just attract attention to it. Then I can at least, like, say proudly, I have the world's smallest V2 model, not just look at it. Because otherwise I have to fight someone over it, you know? I just have a date. If they have clout, they'll just cover up my date. But I can still do it, you know. You know, believe it or not, the fun thing is, making that V2 model took an hour. I mean, it's technically making it took 2 seconds. A little longer, actually, because apparently it wouldn't be taken by the program. But then, animating it took all the time. Well, it took only an hour to animate it, but it didn't want to show it. I could have done it in like 20 minutes, honestly, if it didn't fight against being a pixel. It wanted to be an anti-alias pixel. Which meant the pixel kind of looked like a white blob with some gray outline. Terrible. I have it. It's me. It belongs to me. Only me. Other people made small V2 models. They're actually real V2 models. This one's just a pixel. I call it a Pixtuber. It's the first Pixtuber. Somebody else is going to figure it out one day. Like, just make a block. You can be a block in a VTuber. You just got to animate it. And animations are very easy. And if you have just a single pixel, or a block, or a square, or whatever, your animations are super easy. And then you add more to it over time. I want to see somebody be a developmental VTuber one day. Any of those smart enough to watch, good idea. Somebody needs to create a V2 model like this. You're square. That's it, right? Just be a square. But, over time, start adding in parts. Start adding in parts. And evolve your model, piece by piece, over time. And then start doing interesting things with it, evolve your character. And eventually, you could even be a character that could be, someone could be a character that's like a digitized model as they learn V2 model making. And one day, I don't know, they become a real boy or girl or whatever, you know? With eyes and hair. Ooh. Yeah, and maybe a giant lips and, I don't know, melons. That's what people sell all the time with V2 models all the way anyways. But that is a concept that someone should take into. They can start with a block and evolve over time. Would be a very popular thing, I think. Alright, breaking away from my hand for a bit has been really helpful because it looks better and better the more I look at it now. I wonder, though. Another approach of ideas came to mind. I wonder if I should try it real quick. Let's see if it works. If not. The thing about V2 models, it can be anything you want to be. I always feel it's best to ground yourself in something, you know? You can be anything you want to, but make sure your character never goes too far from you. A lot of people like to make their models to be their ideal self and stuff. But being yourself makes it always so much better. Piece like that. Oh, that's right. Piece file. Well, my idea right now is I want to see if I make a broader shadow, double shadow basically. We have a tight edge shadow and then another shadow to kind of work things over. And the way I like to do that is I like to make a shape and then just squish another in. Let me see, I messed up a little bit here. We duplicate, because it looks like that was actually the best way to do it, but it's a weird thing. The selection was off. There we go. We got a bit better now. Sometimes I just gotta... Sometimes the design is just too complicated. Yeah, it's just a shadow. I shouldn't have to worry too much about it. And we cut out. What we do is we click this, get that, and then we blur. The shadow's a little too realistic, honestly. There's a thing to do like a shadow like that. Adding a lot of shadows and lightings also help a lot with images, in my opinion, too. Let's say how to look at this. In the end, but all my arts are like full of prototypes and stuff. When I get down to it, this thing is going to follow my mouse around and draw for me. Well, look like it draws for me. I've also got to start figuring out... Oh, no, did I do it? Yeah, I think I might have to. So another problem with certain things is where I source it from. I can do that, right? It's a separate model thing. It will... I might have to sync everything to it, too. It's a very confusing and strange thing to do, honestly. I have to put filters on everything and sync it. See, the thing a lot of VTubers don't know about, you'll look at VTubers, you can find this out. Their mouths do not fit their voice. Like, it doesn't sync to it. And the biggest reason for that is they don't tune back their video a few seconds, like half a second or so, or a quarter even, to match their mouth. Getting it fine-tuned is very critical for V2 models, and I think like mine does a good job at that. I also got to make sure I make a shadow with a pen. So for that, we will create the pen proper. Merge you down together. We now have a simple pen. And duplicate it. Because this pen will be complete utter darkness. Now, the people say things like use blue and everything. But why? Use a red, make it pop out more. Actually, it's not even barely there. It's mostly black. So this will follow this underneath it, right? Now, what I should do even more so with a pen shadow is look at the position we're going to have. If the pen shadow goes downward, there's also the collar of the sleeve, right? The little edge, the little cuff, I should say, cuff. So what I can do is I'll have the one shadow go across the hand. Honestly, I could have multiple. They'll have a single shadow deformer for its movement. And I'll have a second shadow, but the first shadow will be below the cuff. I have another shadow above the cuff. And this will show depth by how far I change them apart. So a lot of V2 model making is like, if I do shading correctly and shadow and like positioning, you can display depth to people and makes things look super real. Freaks them the hell out. I love doing that stuff. It's a part of the rigging part, though. It's what I get afterwards when I get to have real fun with it. Before then, it's not as much fun. Definitely has some realism to that. Grittiness at the thumb. If I do it with the other parts, I can do well. Of course, the problem is, if I do it over here, I have to do it individually for the hand bits. I don't know why it's a little light gray from the black. But that's some of the difficulty of making the model. But it is time for me, unfortunately, to settle down and go to sleep, unfortunately. It is 3:20 in the morning. I have to get up at 8. Well, before 8, actually. But I have every plan to do so, because I gotta take care of more cats than mine. I've got to take care of a total of 6 cats. That's my 2 cats. Well, they don't have to be taken care of till later, but, you know. I got to take care of my parents' 3 cats and the 4th cat, which is not their cat, but is their cat. You know, outdoor cat, wild cat. He's a weirdo. So, Fury, I hope that all your stuff goes well. You can keep me posted if you ever see me on stream and stuff, or send me a message on like a YouTube video or something, you know that. It's fine. I'll try to catch out your stuff, I find it. You have really nice art style, though. I really like it. It looks fun, stretchy, and you said it changed and everything else, but it's a really fun style. I think your art style is going to evolve over time and really pop. You're starting to figure out some things with colors. It's really cool. I like it. And thank you for keeping me company while I've been trying to draw something that's been... There's a blockage in my brain when I trying to do things like art and stuff because I don't have a vision in my head. If I had a vision, I have like 2 days to finish it before I get the block. Let me show you one of my visions that happened one time. I couldn't never finish this art. I have to come back to him again later. I actually tried to make a another V2 model before. I'll show you. I'll show you the thing I tried to make. Where is he? This was a V2 model attempt a while back for making something. I never quite got to finishing it or figuring it out. It looks like a cat. I was going to make a ferret. But I don't know how to do ferrets very well and stuff. But, I mean, a lot of this stuff looks pretty good. And I might get back to it eventually. But this was the model I was working on. The shading was a little bit off, kind of weird. And I want to make it more cartoony instead. But I need to change the shading and I might get back into it. But I had this idea for a ferret with a pocket type bag where you grab things out of and like change outfits and do all sorts of funny things in the animations and stuff. And that was the plan. It was going to be a really adorable thing. I was going to be a lot of effort animating it, but I never got to it. Yeah, so this was my third model attempt that I never quite finished making. I'm not an artist. I tried really hard though. The shading was just going to be masked onto the tail, so I didn't have to worry about a lot of stuff. What were these smudges? I don't even remember. It's been so long since I edited this. Probably about 6 months or so, honestly. I was on a big high trip after, big trip on just success after making Silence model work. Yeah, I'll post that in the... I can actually put that in here, I think. Let's see if I can make his model work here. Got it here somewhere. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Silent test. There we go. That's what I made. That thing. Don't mind the hand. That was from another animation, but this was a random animator kind of thing that you have in Live 2D to just throw the animations around. And that's what it did. So yeah, I have I probably had to work on his right eye a little bit to do some fun stuff with that. That's not even his animation, actually. That was a what you saw there was the testing animation. So Live 2D allows you to have parameters randomly set off. The real deal is crazier. I wonder if I can just pop that as a problem. Let's see if I can I did this earlier to do I have the clip or something? No, I don't. I could actually showed his clips and stuff through my browser, I think, and stuff. Through a browser connection. Anyways, you can look up Silent Mime Guy. That would be this guy. Honestly, that's not even going to have enough resolution to... That's good enough. Silent line guy. He's the model. He's the guy I made a model for. To get him into streaming, actually, I made him that model. Because he needed a stream because his screams are the funniest on the planet. And you will see him in so many of my shorts, me and him duking it out, because those are the great best shorts. I don't make a lot of shorts when I'm playing by myself a lot of times, unless I'm like in a big mood to make shorts all of a sudden. Even though I really should. Get a lot of great shorts, possibilities and stuff. But I'm like, I don't feel like it. That's how it is, you know. Where's that editor one day? One day. One day we'll have an editor. One day. Someday. I'll get someone to do it. But, as you can see, we have created a great hand. The pin and the pin shadow. I should probably name this. What number is this? Pin shadow. Always name the finished works. Even if you don't name the rest, if you have too many like me. I'm only at 200 layers. I'm not even going to keep most of this. Pin hole. Wait. Oh, I got it mixed up. Oh, that's not the right pin either. That's not even necessary. Off by one error. Off by one error. That's actually based on my own stylus. I feel like I didn't make it long enough, though. Oh, that looked way too bad. Oh. That's fine. Actually. Can I get it? Okay, I didn't get it going. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to go just a little bit longer. There we go. Ah, it's probably lit. A little bit further back. Let me get more even. What the heck? Give me that. What happened here? Why is it not darkness? Oh, that's why. I messed up. Oh, redo transform? I messed up because the pin's correct. It's just this. Here's the pin underneath I was trying to paint. If you're having trouble with bubble effects, you should look up a multitude of bubble effects. There's a lot out there for like all the talking and stuff. I mean, you got a lot you can do. You can just do the classic talk. You can also just do the circle effect with a small. Doesn't have to connect. You have a really long connection. Doesn't matter too much. Some people do thought bubbles. There's actually dozens of ways to do it. Some just do the box. Okay, but that's not a very good box, but you get the point. Sometimes for expletives and stuff, there's the explosion box or something. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to do it, my point. I don't worry too much on it. You got this, Fury. There's a lot of ways you can do it. Alright, though. It is 3:30. I need to get out of here. I have to go to sleep because I have about 4 hours I'm looking forward to. Oh, a bubble effect like that. I actually learned how to do that. Before I go, I'll show you real quick. Let me see how. Actually, let me make a new one for it. What did I do? How did I do that? I actually figured this out a while back. What did I do? Let me just go show you real quick, though. There's a lot of effects for it. There's a lot of ways. Is there a blue effect I used or not? I can't remember. It's like if there was color in the room, you'd also use a little bit of light for it, for like the diffraction of the light from like a light source. I mean, usually you'd have like yellow or something. Whatever the light color was. You can't tell because of that. Let's see if we do the background pure black. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, that didn't do as well as I thought it would. Another color maybe. I figured it out a while back anyways. And again, that was another one of the assets I gave for Kevin Ringtail for fun. I did a bunch of emotes for him and stuff. His parts, which included a, he won't be angry. I gave him like a distress thing. A lot of fun stuff. On top of that, I gave him tears. So I had some stuff with bubbles and stuff. Blurred white lines for the outlines and a little color in the corner for the light source that's coming in the room. If you really want to be more realistic. But for the most part, you just have a couple of like blurry white marks. And then you low opacity them. And that's it. Now for like beaches, I'm moving around, it's so great. Okay, I will now go. The stream will be closed, everyone. Thank you for those who tuned in, and save because I'm not going to do too stupid and forget right now. There may at most probably be one more day of doing this. I might do this tomorrow even, because it's Thursday, and I don't have any streams going on tomorrow. I might do this even in the middle of the day. Who knows? But you'll see the video up, the live and stuff. We're going to try to finish this off. We have to extend the sleeve. Got to extend the sleeve. So the whole arm can be here. Because the longer the sleeve is, the smaller the arm can be for the model. But the other effect I could do, though, I could do another effect. Let me just show that real quick. I'm just going to show this. This is my last thing to do. what I might do, this is a consideration. This also gives me ideas to think, so don't worry about me not going to sleep. Yeah, well, I'm just going to show. Check this out. Oh, wrong way. Where is it? Reverse. There we go. Pantomime! You can go anywhere. It doesn't matter. It looks the same everywhere. Because it's transparency off. Whoosh. That's another way to do arms. I'll do a video on this one day on how to make these things real quick and easy. Without my complexities, which I'm going to be doing. Because it's just X, Y, and click. Of course, you don't even have to do the click. That's what I'm doing. Because I'm insane! That's like me. That's kind of my whole like moniker anyways, to be insane. So, alright everyone. Goodbye, and see you later. I hope this has helped anyone that's looking for small, crappy art design ideas and stuff anyways, but I'll probably, you know, I might do another stream tomorrow. Who knows? That's a random stream. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, 8 Central is normal. This has been a midnight art stream, and thank you all for joining.